pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Let's start. Have 2 more days for Mahaprabhu's appearance day. No, 3 more days. Okay. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Tadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jahatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, so welcome all to today's continuation of Bhagavatam reading. So we are in the 8th chapter, 2nd canto.
Prabhu, your voice is low, Prabhu. Can you?
Voice is low.
Yes, Prabhu, very faint.
Okay, it is automatically reduced to try. No, right. Okay, it's better now?
Yes, Prabhu. Very good, Prabhu.
It just changes to the setting. Microphone. Yeah. Okay, so we are in the 8th chapter of the 2nd canto. So 8th chapter is an inflection point. What is an inflection point? It's a point by which new dimensions take place. New directions and new thoughts take place. So here he is asking a new set of questions. And that is going to make Sukadeva Goswami to give deeper and deeper explanations. So you will see that this 8th chapter also becomes the basis and the foundation of the next set of cantos, right? Okay, so now we finished all the questions, that is till 23. So 24 onwards is basically a devotee showing enthusiasm, a devotee showing inquisitiveness in while dealing with his guru, right? So Parikshit Maharaj is demonstrating inquisitiveness or interest in the subject much greater than Sukadeva Goswami. That's why he's asking, please tell me this, please tell me that. And thereby he's engaging his guru to teach him the depth of Bhagavatam. Okay. So, somewhere you want to quote, what is the quality of a good student? How does he enthuse? How does he makes request? Right. So this is the part. The sloka number 24 to 29 is the part that you will quote. Thereby, you can talk about the qualities of a student. In fact, even your initiation exam you write, but people have not gone to this depth, right? But you can quote from here also. Okay. Okay, so let's read 8.24. Sarvam etachak bhagavan prachatto me anupurvashah tatvato arhasi udarartam prapannaya mahamune. O great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness. In all that I have inquired from you, and all that I may not have inquired from you. Okay, so look at his intelligence. He's saying, please give me deeper answers to the questions that I asked. The questions that are asked from the 6th sloka till the 23rd sloka. But my ignorance may be much beyond what these questions could be, right? I may not know many things. So I have a begging request. What's the request? Please answer the other aspects of the questions which I have failed to inquire with you. So please fill up that also. Since I am a soul surrendered unto you, please impart knowledge, full knowledge in this connection, right? So the same thing, what Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, Krishna gave the full knowledge to Arjuna. The same way, Parikshit also demonstrating full surrender to Sukadeva Goswami, thereby he can hear that entire knowledge. Okay. I'll read this purport. The spiritual master is always prepared to impart knowledge to disciple. Okay. But it is proportionate to the disciple's inquisitiveness. That's the most important point. Inquisitiveness on the part of a disciple is great necessity for progressive disciple. Right? So now, if the disciple doesn't ask any questions, which tells that there is no interest for the disciple to learn the subject further. Okay, so that is one angle of thought. The other angle of thought is, if someone is not a regular reader of the books, you will see that he is not going to come with any questions because he doesn't know what to ask, right? I'm talking about from current context. The more you read, you will see there is more contradicting situations in Srimad Bhagavatam. So then one may position himself to clarify those contradictions. So one who does not read, he will never have contradictions in his life, right? Okay. If one is not very inquisitive about self-realization, one need not approach a spiritual master simply to make a show of his discipleship. I'm not interested in self-realization. Then I don't need to go meet a spiritual master because I don't know what to ask him. I will demonstrate my foolishness and ignorance more and more in front of the spiritual master. Not only is Parikshit Maharaj inquisitive concerning all he has inquired about, but he is also anxious to know about what he is not able to inquire. Factually, it's not possible for a man to inquire about everything. It's impossible. Since he's making a blanket statement. But a bona fide spiritual master is able to enlighten disciple in every way for the disciple's benefit. Right? So there is a person who's source of knowledge, right? In IT terminology, we have this word called oracle. You must have all heard this word oracle. Oracle means infinite source of knowledge. That's what the word oracle means. And imagine this company built that big company based on that name. So you can consider your spiritual master as an oracle, but the difference is oracle is transactional material knowledge. But your spiritual master is realized spiritual knowledge. That's the difference. So if you're able to see that, then you can appreciate. The more you appreciate from your heart your spiritual master, the more you will see, you'll get attracted to ask the question. The more the challenging our thought is towards our spiritual master, then we will see we are never going to get answers to many of those things. They remain, what do you say, gugyam, secretive all the time. They never get answered. The truth I'll tell you, you may have 10 questions in your life. I'm talking about spiritual realm. Some of the questions you will see that they'll get answered when you read books. Okay, maybe one or two. Some of the questions may get answered when you hear spiritual masters' lectures. Maybe another one or two. But you see, there's still a large portion of your questions that you have doubts are not answered. And how you know they get answered? They get answered through the concept of self-realization. What is self-realization? Lord as Chaitya Guru, your spiritual master as a Chaitya Guru, in your heart they reveal. You'll come to know the answer by yourself. So this is the brilliance. So when you're coming to know that your Guru is speaking through you, through your heart, that means you've actually started to come on the spiritual plane. If that is not happening with you, that means you've still not begun the journey of the spiritual plane. That is a fact of life. It's very important to understand this part. So now you ask a question, Prabhu, then when will I get that situation where I'm able to hear spiritual, realized knowledge? Is practice of your sadhana, following of the instructions of your Guru, and then performing your deity worship. So by the combination of the mercy, realization will happen. So this is the secret. Okay. So hence, when Prabhupada told His Holiness Jayapalakshmi Maharaj, he asked him, how many times should I read the Bhagavad Gita? So that I can understand. He said, you should read 11 times. Is it 11 times? Oh, 11 times I should read? Oh God, 11 times, so much of repetition. So many years it will take. But he was unwavered. And in one of the lectures, he explains how he completed the 11 times of Bhagavad Gita. And once, every time he completed, he used to mark on the wall to show his completion. See, this is called sadhana. Faith on the spiritual master's words. When that sadhana is practiced, you will see realized knowledge manifesting from your heart. Okay? So, we learned three things. All doubts in our life will be manifested in three different ways. The first way is by reading the books. Second way is by hearing the lectures. The third way is realization. That will happen only through your sadhana bhakti. Okay? Now, one of the beauty of this sadhana bhakti, which is getting stronger and stronger. So you must have seen that there are a lot of conflicting situations in scriptures. Why one Purana says Lord Shiva is supreme, another Purana says Lord Vishnu is supreme, another Purana says Indra is supreme. How do I comprehend? How do I conclude? One place, Krishna says, even if you utter my name once, you'll get liberated. But in another place, we see, unless someone reaches the state of prema bhava, he's not going to get liberated. So, then what does liberation means? We'll keep on getting all these conflicts. Second, Veda Vyasa had many juniors, many assistants. They also propounded a lot of knowledge of Bhagavatam. For example, you see Jaimani Rishi. He also propounded. But you will see the secondary, for example, Ashtavakra. He also wrote the Bhagavad Gita. Not the Bhagavad Gita, he also wrote the Gita. Ashtavakra Gita, it's called. So, why I can't read Ashtavakra Gita? And if you read Ashtavakra Gita, there are conflicts between Bhagavad Gita and this one. They look same, but there are a lot of conflicts. My mind is getting torn out. So that's the beauty. When our sadhana bhakti gets stronger, regular, by the causeless mercy of the Lord, the differences in spiritual conclusions by the books, the differences in Vedic versions. What is Vedic version? For example, the version of the Vedas, the version of the Upanishads, the version of the Brahma Sutras, they could be pointing to different directions, but the end goal is same. Those conflictings can also be resolved automatically in your heart. It goes away. That is the beauty. So hence, a disciple's role in the next level of practice of devotion must be with all this thought process in place. A blind practitioner of devotional aspects, or a sentimental practitioner of devotional aspects can never make progress. That is the whole point. Okay? Are we good in understanding this main sloka 24?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we'll go to sloka number 25. Atra pramanam hi bhavan paramesti yadatma buhu pare chanutistanti purvesham purva chaikritam. O great sage, you are as good as Brahma. Parikshit is glorifying Sukadeva Goswami that he is as good as Brahma. Brahma is his grandfather now. The original living being. Others follow custom only as followed by the previous philosophical speculators. So now you will see, he's going to details now. Okay, can someone come forward to read the highlights? One by one highlights you read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Read.
Contemporary to Vedavyasa, or even prior to him, there were many other great sages such as Gautama, Kanada, Jaimini, Kapila, and Astavakra. And all of them have presented a philosophical path by themselves. Patanjali is also one of them. And all these 6 great rishis have their own way of thinking, exactly like the modern philosophers and mental speculators. The difference between the 6 philosophical paths put forward by the renowned sages above mentioned and that of Sukadeva Goswami as presented in the Srimad Bhagavatam is that all the 6 sages mentioned above speak the facts according to their own thinking, but Sukadeva Goswami presents the knowledge which comes down directly from the Brahmaji, who is known as Atmabhu, are born of and educated by the Almighty Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, so he's called Atmabhuhu. What it refers to, he was just born from Supreme Personal Godhead. It is not that. Generally, birth means father and mother has to unite and produce children. But Brahmaji was not born like that. He has only father. That father acts as mother and father. So hence he is called Atmabhuhu. From him, he learned the science of life also. Okay. So now, look at here. He is referring to many other sages, right? For example, he is also referring to Patanjali. Okay. So Patanjali wrote a lot of literature on the Ashtanga Yoga process. So he came out with this yoga system, which is actually today followed by all the yoga practitioners. They claim they're following Patanjali yoga system. But there are 2 aspects to it. One is the mind, another is the body. Okay. So we have no in Ashtanga Yoga, Yama Niyama. Then we have Asana. Then we have Pratyahara. Then we have Pranayama. So if you look at these processes, there are two elements in it. One is the physical body postures. Another is the mind. But Patanjali's focus was the mind, and he used the bodily postures as an aiding tool to control that mind. But today, what's happening is how modern world has become is they forgot the goal that the mind is supposed to reach, but they just focused on a meditative aspect, which does not have an end state. So it is all bodily postures. See the truth, how it got transformed. This is the key. When we have a theory, when we conclude the theory to application, that is practical application, you should exactly get the theory to practice. But we missed. And even that Patanjali, he did not talk about realization of Supreme Personality of Godhead through that. He only, probably limited himself to a lower forms of realization. So one may read Patanjali with great dedicatedness. And then I conclude, oh, this is the solution for liberation. Because Patanjali also talks about impersonal liberation. See how the goal changes. Now continue it, Prabhu. This is grade 6.
The 6 great sages mentioned above may be great thinkers, but their knowledge by mental speculation is not perfect. However perfect an empiric philosopher may be in presenting a philosophical thesis, such knowledge is never perfect because it is produced by an imperfect mind. Such great sages are also have their disciplic successions, but they are not authorized because such knowledge does not come directly from the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana.
So now you see, from Vedavyasa, many branches, and those branches also, took into many other parallel philosophical thoughts. And they also have disciplic succession. So if you do not understand which main branch that you are following into, then you will see deviations. And that will lead to end result. How to understand this? Very simple. If I'm walking a path towards a destination, and suddenly that road divides into 5 other roads. If you do not know the right road, you may choose a wrong road. You may be thinking, but this road is also as good as the other road. I'm seeing the same trees, same lighting, same houses, same thing, same people, but the destination is different. That's the point. The destination will change. Read, Prabhu.
Mind is material, and thus knowledge presented by material speculators is never transcendental and can never become perfect. Maharaja Parikshit do not recognize such mental speculators, however great there may be, but hear from authorities like Sukadeva Goswami, who is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the Parampara system, is specifically stressed in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Stress in the path. Okay. So now we'll go to sloka number 26. Name sava parayanti brahman anasanadami vivato achyutta piyusham tadvakya abhiddhi vinishritam. O Lord Brahmana, because of my drinking the nectar of message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting. So this is a very, very important aspect. What is he trying to tell is, devotional aspect never gives fatigue, not just in the body, but including the mind. Okay. So what is the proof? Fatigue means tiredness. Oh, ಸಾಕು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದು ಇದು? I've already done too much. ಒಂದು 10 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತು ನಾನು. It doesn't happen like that. That's the beauty. Okay. So what's the proof? So now let's say today I spent 2 hours in chanting the holy name, 16 rounds. Wow, I've spent 2 hours. We'll spend 2 hours for continuously reciting the same names again and again. Tomorrow morning, day begins, again you're supposed to chant the same for 2 more hours. Day after tomorrow again. Through to your life. If there was real tiredness, either mentally or physically, people would have given up chanting long time back. Long time back. Or the chanting may be sputtering. Sputtering means what? Once a while. Once a while you chant enough. Whenever you feel that there's no other work, okay, we'll chant. Oh, look at devotees. What their lifestyle was. Now they get up early in the morning, sit down and chant. Every day. Same routine. So this, it tells that devotional service is not inducing fatigue or tiredness, but devotional service is inducing more and more energy and enthusiasm to practice. You heard Bhagavatham Canto 2, chapter 4, sloka number 28. If someone is going to speak the same sloka 2 days later, you will see there's interest to again here. That is the glory of Achyuta Katha. Achyuta means the Lord who doesn't fall down. He never falls down. That's why it's called Achyuta. So Achyuta Katha means infallible Lord. The pastimes and stories of the infallible Lord. Right? In some editions of Srimad Bhagavatam, the text of the last line of this verse reads, Anyatra kupitat vijat, which means the king might be overwhelmed by the thought of his imminent death by snake bite. That means what? Oh, now what he's trying to tell here is, the snake is going to come and bite. That means I'm going to be dead in another 1 or 2 days, or maybe a few hours from now. So immediately what happened? High emotions, fear, instability. What's going to happen? It'll be paining for me? Or will I somehow escape? Or will there be some turning point? Or on the positive side, full of emotions towards his family, towards his kingdom, towards this one. Or, too much overwhelmed towards his spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. Any kinds could be there. So, Bhagavatam concludes that the snake which is going to come and bite Parikshit is also twice born. That means it's also materialistic in nature. So now here it says, the snake which is twice born, it's also anger compared to a cursing Brahmana boy, who was also without good intelligence. Here the Brahmana boy is that Shringi. That Shringi, that boy, the young boy, what did he do? He heard the story. He heard that his father was offered a dead skin snake, the snake's dead skin, as a garland on himself. So he did not go and inquire with his father. What happened? How come this happened? What are we supposed to do? No, he did not do all those things. He heard from someone, and immediately he chanted. He took sankalpa by touching the Ganges water. He chanted the mantras and immediately cursed him. That's it. Taka, taka, taka. Impulsive. That tells this Brahmana boy did not possess any intelligence. He just used his mind. Parikshit Maharaj was not all afraid of death, for he was fully encouraged by the message of the God. And that is the beauty. That means when one has really taken shelter of Achyuta Katha, for him death is just another event. Like how Okay, tomorrow is 26th January. Like that, tomorrow is there today. That's it. We'll just accept with grace. That is the glory. We have that one sloka now. Tasmat Bharata Sharvatma Bhagavan Ishvara Harihi Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyascha Chatabayan. Who has taken shelter, surrender unto that Supreme Lord, Sharvatma. That is the Lord of all Atmas, who is the benefactor, protector. For him, there's no fear. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry for interrupting, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the previous purport, he told that there is no difference between Sukadeva Goswami and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhu, can you elaborate, Prabhu?
Okay, so what we are going to do is today, once we finish this, another two more slokas is there. I'm going to share some purports from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I also shared this in our in groups. In some of the groups, I shared this Guru Tattva also. So I'll just share that to you now, and we will see what does that mean. That time you will see that your question will get answered.
Okay, Prabhu.
Just wait for another three slokas. We'll finish till 29,
Okay.
and then we'll go into that topic of discussion. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Sloka number 27. Sutavacha sa upamantrito rajna katayam iti satpate brahmarato brisham prito vishnuratena samshadi. Sutta Goswami said, thus Sukadeva Goswami being invited by Parikshit Maharaj to speak on the topics of Lord Shri Krishna with the devotees was very much pleased. So now look at the position of Guru. Guru is not he says, oh God, I'm obligated to speak. I'm not liking to speak here. I don't like this crowd. I have better things to do. No. The heart overwhelmed for the spiritual master. He was so happy to come and speak Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because he is attracted by the qualitativeness of the student. That is the quality of a guru and a student. Okay, can someone read the purport? The yellow highlight.
Hare Krishna, shall I read, Prabhu?
Please read.
Hare Krishna,
Srimad
Prabhu.
Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu, read, Prabhu.
Srimad Bhagavatam can be legitimately discussed only among the devotees of the Lord. As the Bhagavad Gita was authoritatively discussed between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord and the devotee respectively, similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the postgraduate study of the Bhagavad Gita, can also be discussed between the scholars and the devotees like Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit. Otherwise, the real taste of the nectar cannot be finished. Sukadeva Goswami was pleased with Maharaja Parikshit because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on with interest. Foolish interrupters unnecessarily tackle the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam when they have no access to the subject matter. There is no use in non-devotees meddling with the two topmost Vedic literatures, and therefore Shankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam for commentation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. This is self-explanatory. So if you have any questions, we'll discuss. Read this highlight also. Sukadeva Goswami is protected by the Lord. College going Prabhu, read this also.
Yes, Prabhu. And Srila Sukadeva Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna by Brahma Vaivarta Purana, and therefore he is known as Brahma, Brahmarata. And the
Brahmarata.
Brahmarata and Srimad Parikshit Maharaja was protected by Vishnu, and thus he is known as Vishnurata. As
Vishnu Rata.
devotees, Vishnu
Vishnu Rata.
Vishnurata. As devotees of the Lord, they are always protected by the Lord. It is clear also in this connection that a Vishnurata should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Brahmarata and not one else, and no one else, because others misinterpret the transcendental knowledge and thus spoil one's valuable time. Right?
Okay. So you can see what titles have been given, and these titles are given not just for the sake of it, because there is a meaning towards it, right? So Parikshit Maharaj is called Vishnu Rata, and Brahmaji is called Brahmarata. Now Sukadeva Goswami is called Brahmarata. So they are clearly being protected by the Lord, and hence they get these titles, right? And it's quoted from many examples. Okay, so 8 or 28. Praha Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam Ramane Bhagavat Proktam Brahma Kalpa Upagate. He began to reply to the inquiries of Maharaj Parikshit by saying that the science of personality of Godhead was spoken first by the Lord himself to Brahma. When he was first spoken, Srimad Bhagavatam is the supplementary Vedic literature, and it's just a pursuance of the Vedas. Purport. Okay. Can someone read the purport?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of the personality of Godhead. The impersonalist always tries to misrepresent the personal feature of the Lord, not knowing the science of the great knowledge. And Srimad Bhagavatam is in pursuance of the Vedas and scientific knowledge of the personality. To this science, one should take shelter of the representative of Sri Sukadeva and follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit without foolishly attempting to interrupt, thereby committing
Interpret. Interpret means, what does interpret means? Speculating your mind. Okay, so you should not interpret, but you should, scrutinizingly read. What does scrutinizingly read? How to understand this better? If there is no direct understanding from the literature I'm reading, I should consult with the right devotees. I should cross-reference with the right books. So if you see, actually, our acharyas, like Bhakti Vinod Thakura, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, Gaur Kishore Babaji, they all used to read together many, many times. Evening means they'll sit down and read Srimad Bhagavatam. The Goswamis, they used to read with a small candle lamp. They used to sit down and read in the evening, how to understand this, right? So this is what is called as phenomenal.
Thereby committing a great offense at the feet of the Lord. The dangerous ways of interpretations by the non-devotee class of men have played havoc in understanding the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the careful student should be always alert in this matter if he at all wants to learn the science of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So be careful about the content you're reading. Be careful about the state of mind and consciousness that you're reading. Right? Ensure that you're referring to the right literature, right verses, right text, and then conclude. One misconclusion can lead you into wrong paths. Okay, let's read sloka 29, which ends Parikshit Maharaj's request to Sukadev, and then from next sloka onwards, he's going to talk about answering these questions that Parikshit is asked. Yad Parikshit Rishabhaha Pandunam Anuprichati Anupurve Yena Tat Sarvam Akyatum Upachakrame. He also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit had inquired from him. Maharaj Parikshit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandus, and thus he was able to ask the right questions from the right person. So when the lineage is mentioned, it also tells a qualifying factor. For example, as an youngster, when you go out, they might tell you, right? They may refer you as, oh, he's granddaughter of so-and-so, he's grandson of so-and-so. So what does that mean? It means that there is enough credibility proven by your ancestors that need not be questions of proved again. That is the credibility there. So by referring you to that credibility, they're also telling that even though you're very young, yet to prove anything, but the fact that you're coming in that lineage tells that you also carry that legacy, carry that consciousness, carry that mood, carry that credibility along with you. And hence they give that same title to you also, right? So you must have noticed this. Many people say, oh, he's son of so-and-so, he's grandson of so-and-so, right? Like that. Now, here the credibility of Pandu Maharaj is so intense that Parikshit has been once again referred, apart from many other aspects, that he is son of the Pandavas, he's son of Pandu, he's coming from that lineage, all those things. Okay. So now Parikshit Maharaj is going to be hearing everything. Goswami is going to, with all his experience, with his experience knowledge, realized knowledge, he's going to answer in a very systematic manner as he has heard, right? So we discussed many times. Sukadeva Swami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from multiple sources, right? So all those things he's going to speak now. Okay. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of second canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by King Parikshit. So now we'll start answers by citing the Lord's versions. This is chapter 9. Okay. So before we go here, I want to spend time on a certain sloka. It is also coincidental that our Balaji Govind Prabhu asked a very similar question. So, since we talked about Guru-Sishya relationship now, what kinds of Guru, where we can hear, how we can hear, what is the position of a person who's speaking? So, we have to learn that better. So, hence we want to do it. I'll also read the article that I sent on WhatsApp so that we can connect both. Okay. Let's see the screen. Okay, is my screen visible? Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita 1.47, Adi Leela. Siksha Guru ke ta jani Krishnera Swarupa. Antaryami Bhakta Shrestha e Dui Rupa. Siksha Guru, the spiritual master who instructs. Okay, so there is Diksha Guru and there is Siksha Guru. Siksha Guru is one, a spiritual master who instructs. Ta, indeed, Jani, I know, Krishnera of Krishna, Swarupa, the direct representative, Antaryami, the indwelling supersoul, Bhakta Shrestha, the best devotee. Look at it, huh? We've heard only from Modi ji, Shrestha Bharat. Now we have Shrestha Bhakta also, the best devotee. He, these, Dui, two, Rupa forms. Okay, translation. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Godhead. Look at the first statement. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the super soul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. Okay. Now, before continue to read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you should understand. Many of the literatures were written because they heard. Okay. I heard since I wrote the literature. That's why you have many books. And many even literatures also. But Bhagavatam is written by a personality who's sound incarnation of the Lord, or literary incarnation of the Lord. It means Lord himself in one form. In Chaitanya Charitamrita is far more different. Many people wrote different versions of Chaitanya Charitamrita, but that is a heard version. But this version that we are reading is by direct recitation by Raghunath Das Goswami, by his direct experience. When our Lord spoke, when our Lord behaved, when our Lord said something, he directly documented it and spoke. Okay. That is this Chaitanya Charitamrita. So you see the positions of this literature, phenomenal. Okay, now let's read the purport. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami states that the instructing spiritual master is a bona fide representative of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna himself teaches us as the instructing spiritual master from within and without. That means from the heart and from externally also. So Srila Prabhupada says in his lectures that he is the primary Diksha Guru and he is the primary Siksha Guru for all the disciples of ISKCON. Right? That means he is not only connecting you to the parampara, but he is also instructing you the message of Godhead to you directly. So that's why it's primary Siksha and Siksha. So my Guru Maharaj also says that I am your primary Diksha Guru and your primary Siksha Guru, he says. Right? So we may have many Shiksha Gurus, but your spiritual master, not only a Diksha Guru, but also becomes a primary Siksha Guru also. Okay. Now let's hear. From within, he teaches us Paramatma, our constant companion. And from without, he teaches from the Bhagavad Gita as instructing spiritual master. There are two kinds of instructing spiritual masters. One is the liberated person fully absorbed in meditation and devotion service. You can say a person in the state of samadhi, completely realized and liberated soul. That is this. Second, the other is he who invokes a disciple's spiritual consciousness by means of relevant instruction. Who's the other person? He takes the literatures from the parampara system, from bona fide authorities, the acharyas, and gives that as reference and gives that, follow this, follow that. Thus, the instructions in the science of devotion are differentiated in terms of the objective and subjective ways of understanding. The Acharya in the true sense of the term, who is authorized to deliver Krishna, here deliver Krishna means gives Krishna to us, enriches the disciple with full spiritual knowledge and thus awakens him to activities of devotion service. Right? So that we talk about two. There's one who's taking you to Krishna and say, I'm connecting you to Parampara. Now the entire Guru Parampara will take responsibility to take you back home. But the other who's instructing, thereby he is giving Krishna into your heart. He enriches the disciple with spiritual knowledge. What does he do? He awakens him to the activities of devotion service. He becomes instrumental for you to practice devotion service. While by learning from the self-realized spiritual master, one actually engages himself in service of the Lord Vishnu. So thus, a living entity, because he is imparted by the two types of Guru, he is able to practice devotion. Functional devotional service begins. One may think, oh, I am able to go to temple, I am able to connect to my spiritual master. I asked him this question, I donated money to him. Hence, I am able to do it. But what Shastra says, he is able to do because of the pre-work and the mercy that was given to him. If the pre-work or the mercy is withdrawn, then you will see he is lost. He is no more. The procedure of this devotion service are known as Abhideya. This is called as the first connect or introduction, or actions one is duty bound to perform. Okay. Our only shelter is the Supreme Lord. And one who teaches how to approach Krishna is the functioning form of the personality of Godhead. There is no difference between shelter-giving Supreme Lord and initiating and instructing spiritual master. Prabhupada writes, there's no difference because all of them are reaching or taking one to that same goal and destination in their spiritual journey. There's no difference, theory and practice. If one foolishly discriminates between them, he commits an offense in the discharge of devotion service. So you should not see the difference. You should see that both of them are at one point in time colliding. Like you can see, let's say there are 3-4 multiple railway tracks. All of them are colliding and coming to a single point. Then you see, tracks may be different, but they are all meeting at the same goal. Now, further explanation by Prabhupada. Look at this explanation. Sanatana Goswami is an ideal spiritual master, for he delivers one the shelter of the lotus feet of Madana Mohana. Even though one may be unable to travel to the field of Vrindavan due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can get an adequate opportunity to stay in Vrindavan and derive all spiritual benefits by the mercy of Sanatana Goswami. So people are thinking, I should go to Vrindavan, stay in Vrindavan all the time. Only then I'm in Rajabhumi, Punya Kshetra. I will get the mercy of Godhead. But here, Chaitanya Charitamrita propounds that by taking shelter of spiritual master like Sanatana Goswami, who's always worshipping at the lotus feet of Madana Mohana, he will stay in Vrindavan by the mercy of that spiritual master. Okay. Sri Govindaji acts exactly like the Shiksha Guru, instructing spiritual master by teaching Arjuna the Bhagavad Gita. So that means there are two people now. One is Lord manifesting as Madana Mohana, thereby he is able to empower the Diksha Guru to connect to him. Lord manifesting as Govindaji and acting like Shiksha Guru, like how Arjuna was taught, many disciples are being taught the instructions of this Godhead. He is the original preceptor, for he gives us instruction and opportunity to serve him. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Madana Mohana Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is the personal representative of Govinda Deva Vigraha. Both these deities are worshipped at Vrindavana. Srila Gopinatha is the ultimate attraction in spiritual realization. That means what? The manifestation of these two Vigraha coming from Srila Gopinath. Gopinath is Prayojana, or award of love of Godhead in completeness. So that means the initiating spiritual master and an instructing spiritual master are representatives of the Godhead in these two Vigraha format, which is called Madana Mohana and Govinda Dev. Okay. So this is information of how the deities are actually manifesting through personalities. So these personalities, they become instruments. Okay, now Mahaprabhu said, I want 1,000,000 gurus because the whole world need to be instructed. So all these 1,000,000 gurus need not be Diksha gurus. They're all manifestation of Govinda Dev. And hence they're able to carry the message of Govinda Dev along with them to deliver to the common people. So this is what one has to understand. And hence, the instructing spiritual master must also be detached while dealing with his devotees. So, for example, when we are giving an instruction to someone, when you give an instruction to someone, please remember there are two outcomes to an instruction. One is the devotee may follow, or one he may not follow. But what should be the clarity is when the personnel does not follow or does follow, the reactions of that will also reach the instructing spiritual master. This is very, very important. And that changes the outcome for the life of the spiritual master. So, as a preacher, if you're going to take up that position, that's why you take the position of Vyasdev while you sit on the Vyasasana. You don't become Vyasdev as a representative of Vyasdev. He is going to speak through you. When you're going to give a class, the Govindaji deity is going to speak through you. That's why we all offer our prayers. And offer prayers to our Guru Parampara, offer prayers to the deities, offer prayers to the all the Vaishnavas to empower you so that the Lord can speak through you. It's very important. And what is a detachment? Now look at here, Sukadeva Goswami. Did he know that Parikshit is going to ask these questions and he's going to know? Because he was inspired, the Lord was sitting in his heart, he is able to come to that arena. There was no cell phone, there's no messaging system, nothing. Now, after coming to the venue, when Sukadeva started to speak, he's very detached. Okay, you have this question or answer? When all the questions were completed with Parikshit, 7 days was over. Sukadeva said, my duty to instruct you is done. What you're going to do with that is your decision. He did not stand there to enforce whether he's going to do that. Immediately you see Sukadeva Goswami disappears. That's it. And that's the detachment. So if you apply these principles, controlling another person's life is a greater responsibility, and any variations in the life of that person, whether he follows, he rejects, he makes mistake, all those reactions will also come to the person who's controlling him. So hence, be detached. So this is the principle. Okay. So now, Balaji Govinda Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Question answered.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Anyone else has any doubts on these things?
Prabhu, you have shared this, or it is 6.1.40, I mean, Adi Leela 1.47, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's there. I'm sharing on the screen.
Yeah, you are sharing on the screen. We'll read, Prabhu. It is very deep and very nice. And we'll ask you questions next class.
Okay.
Prabhu, that means they say when we take the Harinam initiation, we are not supposed to make any mistake. If make any mistake, it reflects on the Guru. But when you take the Gayatri initiation, they say you are responsible for your mistake. Is that right, Prabhu?
No. In the Harinam initiation, you are only partially initiated. You're not fully initiated. So here, that initiation means ability to practice devotion. But what will deliver you? The holy name. The holy name is the one that delivers you. So, for example, now a devotee, even though he takes all the initiation, vows, all those things, but does not practice. He will not go home back to Godhead. He's going to disturb that Guru to again come back in his next birth to help him. So that means Guru delivering a person is subjective. But the holy name is so pure that someone who's not in the system of this parampara and all those things, but still by meditatively chanting the holy name, he can go back home back to God. So that's the power of holy name. So Harinam initiated versus Brahmanic initiation. In Harinam initiation, what happens is one taking up that level of initiation, he is responsible for his duties, but he is empowered by the Guru to practice nicely. He is given a push, like an additional engine for you. There will be some amount of reactions to the Guru if you make mistakes. But in Gayatri initiation or Brahmanical initiation, the reactions of not following takes a greater toll on Guru. That's why not all Guru will accept to give you Brahmanical initiation. In fact, Vanuswami doesn't even believe in initiation. That's why though he's an initiating Guru, he doesn't give. He tells, my duty is to give you Harinam. Chant Harinam and go back home back to God. It's your duty to practice. My duty is to show you the path. The rest is yours. So he is into the mood of you own your responsibility. I can keep giving you guidance, but the rest is yours. Okay. Okay, so are we good here? Okay, so now we'll go back to we will read at least a couple of slokas.
We'll stop here, Prabhu.
Huh?
Can we stop here? We'll start in the next class, Prabhu. 9th.
If you have difficulty, you log off.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. 9.1. Srila Sukadev Sukha Uvacha. Atma Mayam Rite Rajan. Parasyanupavatmanah. Nagate Artha Sambandaha. Swapna Drastur Ivanjasha. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body. That relationship is just like a dreamer seeing his own body working. Look at the depth of the meaning here. O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning of relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body. That relationship is just like a dreamer seeing his own body working. Purport. Can someone read the purport?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat.
Read, Mataji.
Maharaj Parikshit's question as to how a living entity began his material life, although he is apart from the material body and mind, is perfectly answered. The spirit soul is distinct from the material conception of his life, but he is absorbed in such a material conception because of being influenced by the external energy of the Lord called Atma Maya. This has already been explained in the first canto in connection with Vyasadeva's realization of the Supreme Lord and his external energy. The external energy is controlled by the Lord, and the living entities are controlled by the external energy, by the will of the Lord. Therefore, although the living entity is purely conscious in his pure state, he is subordinate to the will of the Lord in being influenced by the external energy of the Lord.
In Bhagavad Gita,
In Bhagavad Gita 15.15 also, the same thing is confirmed. The Lord is present within the heart of every living entity, and all the living entities' consciousness and forgetfulness are influenced by the Lord. Now, the next question automatically made will be why the Lord influences the living entity to such consciousness and forgetfulness. The answer is that the Lord clearly wishes that every living entity be in his pure consciousness as part and parcel of the Lord, and thus be engaged in the loving service of the Lord as he is constitutionally made. But because the living entity is partially independent also, he may not be willing to serve the Lord, but may try to become as independent as the Lord is.
pause,
Yes.
Mataji. So now you can see there are two aspects here the Lord is talking. One is the constitutional position of a living entity. Now, the living entity is time immemorial. That means from the day of its creation, is part and parcel of the Lord. And what does the part and parcel of the Lord means? That means, for example, my hand is part and parcel of me, and the purpose of my hand's existence is to serve me. Now, let's say this hand is of no use to me. Whatever I want, it doesn't do. Then it is forgetting its duty-bound nature to serve me. Then what's the use of that hand? So the Lord is trying to tell the living entity, your constitutional position is to serve me because I'm the whole, but I'll still give you your independence. What's independence? For example, I saw this hand is not serving me, I can chop this hand off. I can throw it away. Oh, you're not serving me, useless. No, Lord is not doing that. Lord is saying you have the independence to either serve me or serve yourself. That's what is told here. So, that is the one reason why the Lord does not enforce us to bow down in front of Him. The Lord only provides opportunities, inspires, motivates, and show you some benefits of getting back to your constitutional position. So that comes to the fact that only by our own enthusiasm and development of love in our heart, we can serve the Lord. One cannot be forced. One cannot be arm twisted to do any of these things because the Lord gives the liberty. So that part you should be very clear. Constitutional position versus liberty. Now read Mataji.
All the non-devotee living entities are desirous of becoming equally as powerful as the Lord, although they are not fit to become so. The living entities are illusioned by the will of the Lord because they wanted to become like him. Like a person who thinks of becoming a king without possessing the necessary qualification, when the living entity desires to become the Lord himself, he is put in a condition of dreaming that he is a king. Therefore, yes,
Continue.
Therefore, the first sinful will of the living entity is to become the Lord. And the consequent will of the Lord is that the living entity forget his factual life and thus dream of the land of utopia where he may become one like the Lord.
So now you can understand, right? So now we are moving away from the constitutional position. So because why? Lord gave me the free will. What's the free will? I can either serve him or I can be independent. I can serve myself. If I want to serve myself, I'm going to think I'm the king. Right? And that's exactly what is happening to us in this material world. We are thinking we are independent, we are the king, and I can do whatever I want. And hence we are making all plans, all actions that will satisfy our needs, our senses. And that is how we seek enjoyment in this world. Because of this nature. Okay, read Mataji. And he says this is a dream. This is not factual. Okay, read. The child cries.
The child cries to have the moon from the mother, and the mother gives the child a mirror to satisfy the crying and disturbing child with the reflection of the moon. Similarly, the crying child of the Lord is given over to the reflection, the material world, to lord it over as karmi, and to give this and to give this up in frustration to become one with the Lord. Both these stages are dreaming illusions only.
There is no necessity.
There is no necessity of tracing out the history of when the living entity desired this. But the fact is that as soon as he desired it, he was put under the control of Atma Maya by the direction of the Lord. Therefore, the living entity in his material condition is dreaming falsely that this is mine and this is I. The dream is that the conditioned soul thinks of his material body as I, or falsely thinks that he is the Lord and that everything in connection with that material body
Is mine.
is mine. Thus, only in dream does the misconception of I and mine persist life after life. This continues life after life as long as the living entity is not purely conscious of his identity as the subordinate part and parcel of the Lord. In his pure consciousness, however, there is no such misconceived dream, and in that pure conscious state, the living entity does not forget that he is never the Lord, but that he is eternally the servitor of the Lord in transcendental love. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. What a beautiful purport Prabhupada is written. Huh? It is making us to think that we are in a dream. What is the dream that we are in? The dream here is the illusion. What is the dream? So, for example, we say, no, oh, we have to go through all this material education for 20 years, 30 years, whatever it may be, and think, okay, now my life is permanently set. What permanently set? After 30 years of education, if there is a mishap in our life, that ends. Whatever you learned is gone. Whatever opulence that you possessed due to various factors and reasons, that is gone. You see, they're so temporary in nature. But the illusion keeps telling that I'm the permanent owner. Just like how it keeps telling me I'm the Lord, I'm the king, I'm the owner, I'm in control of my life. We are never in control of our life. Not only in this birth, if you take hundreds of births also. Even a king is not in a satisfied state. Even an ant is not in a satisfied state. So hence he calls this as false, an illusion. But what's our actual position when we come out of the dream? What is the dream when we come out? That, oh, I am actually a servant of my Supreme Lord. What's my duty bound? Is to please my master. How can you please your master? Can you be angry, fight with him and please him? No. By lovingly giving him something, you please him. That is called transcendental love. That's what is trying to be explained here. That's the first explanation that Sukadeva Goswami is giving. What is the position of a living entity? Okay. We'll read Sloka 2 to end the session today. Bahurupa iva bhati mayaya bahurupaya ramamano guneshvasya mamaham iti manyate. The illusion, the living entity, appears in so many forms offered by the external energy of the Lord. While enjoying in the modes of material nature, the engaged living entity misconceives thinking of terms of I and me. Okay, this sloka is just complementing sloka number 1. That's why we want to read. Okay, can someone read the sloka? Purport. Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Shall I?
Yeah, one of you read.
Oh, the different forms of the living entities are different dresses offered by the illusory external energy of the Lord according to the modes of nature. The living being desires to enjoy.
So here dresses refers to our body. We may possess human body, we may possess animal body. Within this human body, we may possess higher human body or lower human body. All are different dresses, which is called the product of external energy and its illusion. Yes, Prabhu.
The external material energy is represented by our 3 modes, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. So, even in the material nature, there is a chance of an independent choice by the living entity, and according to his choice, the material energy offers
him different varieties of material bodies. Left hand side top.
yes, Prabhu, him different varieties of material bodies.
So this is
There
like
are
you take your son for shopping. You took him to a store and tell him, what do you want? Do you want to wear a t-shirt? Do you want to wear a kurta pajama? Do you want to wear a formal shirt? Do you want to wear a casual shirt? Do you want to wear a party wear? Do you want to wear a suit? What do you want to wear? So there are many choices given. Just like that, the Lord gives you all this choice. And we give 10, 20 choices. But Lord gives lakhs of choices. And you can choose. Lord, I don't like this human body because it's so heavy and things like I want to be lighter and keep flying. Give me that body. Go apply, make your request to the Lord, and He will make it happen. You can get a bird's body and just keep flying all the time. That's the beauty. Read, Prabhu.
there are 9 lakh varieties of material bodies in the water, 20 lakh vegetable bodies, 11 lakhs worms and reptiles, 10 lakhs forms of birds, 30 lakhs different bodies of beasts, and 4 lakhs human forms. Altogether, there are 84 lakhs varieties of bodies in different planets of the universe. And the living entity is traveling by so many transmigrations according to different modes of enjoying spirit within himself. Even in one particular body, the living entity changes from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youth, from youth to old age, and from old age to another body created by his own action. The living entity creates his own body by his personal desires, and the external energy of the Lord supplies him the exact form by which he can enjoy his desires to the fullest extent. The tiger wanted
Tiger,
to
tiger.
the tiger wanted to enjoy the blood of another animal, and therefore, by the grace of the Lord, the material energy supplied him the body of the tiger with facilities for enjoying blood from another animal. Similarly, a living entity desiring to get the body of a demigod in a higher
Planet.
planet can also get
So,
it
like
by
means you can not only just become a bird or insect or a tiger, you can also become Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, anyone you can become by the grace of the Lord. Okay, read. Prabhu.
planet can also get it by the grace of the Lord. And if he is intelligent enough, he can desire to get a spiritual body to enjoy the company of the Lord, and he will get it. So, the minute freedom of the living entity can be fully utilized, and the Lord is so kind that He will award the living entity the same type of body he desires. The living entity's desiring is like dreaming of a golden mountain. A person know a person knows that a mountain is, and he knows also what gold is. Out of his desire only, he dreams of a golden mountain, and when the dream is over, he sees something else in his presence. He finds in his awakened state that there is neither gold nor a
What,
mountain.
what is
And,
Golden Mountain?
and what to speak of a golden mountain? The different push the different positions of the living entities in the material world under multifarious manifestations of bodies are due to the misconception of mind and I. The karmi thinks of this world as mine, and the gnani thinks I am everything. The whole material conception of politics, sociology, philanthropy, altruism, etc., conceived by the conditioned souls is on the basis of this misconceived I and mine,
So that
which
means
are
he is telling what in the material life also. No, some may become a musician, some may become a entrepreneur, some may become a socialist. That means to help the people, philanthropist. Some may become a lawyer. Some may become any of these things. Some may want to write literatures. All these things are different flavors of desires that are possessed in the heart. And the Lord makes it to happen. But it is what it is. It is just conception of I and mine. He's only thinking of himself. He's only identifying himself. He doesn't understand the relationship with the Lord. He doesn't understand his constitutional duties towards the Lord. That's the most important thing. Okay. Which are products of strong desire. Read.
which are which are products of a strong desire to enjoy material life, identification with the body and the place where the body is obtained under different conceptions of socialism, nationalism, family affection, and so on and so forth, is all due to forgetfulness of the real nature of the living entity. And the whole misconception of the bewildered living entity can be removed by the association of Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit, as all this is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So it's very simple. What you desire, you get. If you keep desiring that, I want to be here in this illusion, I want to keep enjoying different aspects in this material life, Lord says, Tatastu, get it, take it. Birth after birth, keep taking different bodies. Be here forever. But on some reason, he says, no, no, Lord, I've done it. I'm tired of this place. Every time I'm taking birth and going through struggle, I don't want to. I want to come back to you and I want to serve. Lord says, okay, Tatastu, come. So for that also Lord enables. He sends you a spiritual master, he gives you literature, he opens up the heart, he makes you to practice devotion, he does all the opportunities for you, and he opens the gates, the 7 gates to Vaikuntha planet. He opens all of them also, and you can go back and back to God. So it is about what we desire. Desire and follow through with action. The beauty of the Lord is whatever you desire, he makes the opportunities for you so that you can fulfill your desire. So, what should be intelligence? Desire wisely. Don't desire poorly. That's all. You are not the possessor of anything in this world, so do not try to control anything in this world. Anything that is given to you today in this life, you are just a facilitator. You are just a temporary possession of ownership. So use it in the right path, use it in the right service. You will see you are never in difficulty of life. You are always in state of bliss and happiness, and you will enjoy life. Okay? So now, moment someone takes up the desire to serve the Lord, his constitutional position, what is the constitutional position? I am servant of Lord, is revealed to him. Then, all the influence because of this material energy, this Mahamaya, Atma Maya, is completely taken away. That means their influence on us keep on coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. Then all misconception. What misconception? I am so and so, I'm so and so, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, they're all gone. Oh, this is mine, that is mine, I own this, I control this, all those things are gone. All these 2 misconceptions are gone. Then the pure consciousness manifests in ourselves. That pure consciousness as servant of Lord, and that will be the desire, and duty bound will walk towards that path. That's the first explanation Sukadeva Goswami gives to Parikshit as to understand what is the position of living entity. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so now that forms the basis now. This forms our foundation. So as we read it deeper and deeper, let's understand this true philosophy and work towards it. You will never face any difficulties in life if you are clear on these aspects. And this is real knowledge. Okay. So we'll continue. Now, answers to those questions are going to be really brilliant. So Goswami will take us deeper and deeper into these answers. Okay. We'll enjoy reading this subject together. Continuing next Saturday. Okay. Randra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Vanchakalpayascha, Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Yeah, I'll end the meeting. Thank you.